Sri Gurubhyo Namaha children, you are welcome for the online class. Class 10th standard, we are going to see our supplementary of 5th unit. You know that for 5th unit we have completed prose and poem, and this is your supplementary reader, and you know that what is the lesson? Yeah, the lesson name is A Day in 2889 of an American Journalist. So, it has been taken by an American journalist. A Day in 2889 of an American Journalist. So, it is written by Jules Verne. So, here you know that, just imagine what is the year 2889. So, what is the year now children? It is 2020. In 2020, we have just seen so many technology and they have been improved. You just imagine in 2889 how the years will be. How the years will be and what all the developments will be there. You know that 10 years or 20 years or 30 years back or 100 years back, we are not been that much well furnished with our apartments and other things and all, if you are going back. And now you have been developed from when you are olden period to now, and just imagine the same way. So, 5 years or 10 years back when you were walking in the same Tiruvallur district, you will be finding that so many places were empty and so many with plants, and now if you see that lot of apartments and there are supermarkets and so many things have been developed. And the same way technologically. So, previously we are having only a phone and now we are having hand phone, and then now we have well developed. You just think over, if you want to meet a person, you will be just making a call, and in those days you will be writing a letter. Nowadays it is that even invitation card had been sent in the message, and just imagine how much developed it will be in the year 2889. Now we are in 2020, and just think over 880 years back how it will be. After 800 years how it will be, you just imagine how the world will be. And you know that nowadays you are using helicopter, helipad and aeroplane, so many things. Now I hope that you will be having how metro train is there now. Later you will be having a flight for that. So, you will be having a tube system where you can go to other nations in the underground world and on the top. So, maybe latest flight mode will be changed, only one person flight will be there, like how we are having a car, like that we can have even flights, we do not know. So, how developing it will be. So, because it is in our future. So, you know that rupees and other things, everything is a change. So, we have lot of changes, and you can imagine what all the things will be there. Now, I want to know, or you will be just sharing your views and how much it will be developed as an essay, and you can send to me. Okay children, here you see that A Day in 2889 of an American Journalist. It is written by Jules Verne. This story speaks about the people of the 29th century who live in the fairyland, superfitted as they are with marvels. They are indifferent to the presence of each new marvel. To them all seem natural. So, here it is clear children, the story speaks about the people of 29th century. So, it talks about the 29th century people who live in a fairyland, they are living in the fairyland. For me it will be a imaginary land and they are living like that, the story will be like that to us. Superfitted as they are with marvels, they are indifferent to the presence of each new marvel, to them all seem natural. Okay. The year in 2889, the date 25th July, and the place is the office block of the managing editor of the Earth Herald. So, it is about a journal. So, it is a place, it is a house, the year office block of a managing editor of the Earth Herald. So, the newspaper name is Earth Herald. It is an office block and the date is 25th July 2889. So, the year is 2889, the date 25th July and placed in the office block of a management editor of an Earth Herald, the world's largest newspaper. So, in that year in 2889, the largest newspaper is Earth Herald, and there was a managing editor in that room, editing room, it is about an editor. World's largest newspaper it is. In this futuristic story, so it is a futuristic story in 1889. So, it is written in 1889 and it is a futurist story. The writer describes how he visualized the world 1,000 years later, a world of technology advancement where newspaper are not printed but spoken. So, here nowadays you will be gathering news and you will be getting a newspaper, or in the television you will be getting a news telecasted. So, here in this year it has been written in 1889, and the author had just had a vision in 889 year how it would be. So, he was thinking world 1,000 years later, a world of technology advancement where newspaper are not printed but spoken. In those years it was not spoken, it was just printed. Read the following excerpt for a glimpse of this future world. It was the Francis Bennett editor. That morning, that is July 25th in 2889, that morning Francis Bennett awoke in a rather bad temper. So, he woke up in the morning in a bad temper, and this was 8 days since his wife had been in France. So, for 8 days his wife has been in France, and he was feeling a little lonely. So, he got married and his wife is not with him. His wife was 8 days away from him. She was in France and he was there in this place, and as soon as he awoke, Francis Bennett switched on his phonotelephone whose wires led to the house he owned in the Champs-Élysées. So, he is in Champs-Élysées and he was having a phonotelephone, and Francis Bennett woke up in the morning with a bad temper and immediately got up. You know, you children also having a habit of just immediately getting on, you will be switch on your television in olden days. Nowadays cell phone, you will be just switch on. The same way this person also, Francis Bennett, felt lonely. So, he was in a bad temper. For 8 years he had not with his wife went to France, and now he got morning and he is making a phonotelephone whose wire led to the house he owned in the Champs-Élysées. So, Champs-Élysées is owned by somebody, and it was just the telephone completed by the telephone is another of our time's conquers, though the transmission of speech by the electric current was already very good. It was only since yesterday that vision could also be transmitted. A value discovery, and Francis Bennett was by no means the only one to bless its distance between them. He saw his wife appear in the telephotic mirror. Francis, dear Francis. So, here what is that? He was on his telephone, and that telephone has been on. His wife face was on the screen, and he was as if he was very near next to them. They were just chatting, and that is talking. So, the telephone completed by the telephone is another of our time's conquest, though the transmission of speech by electric current was already very old. It was only since yesterday that vision could also be transmitted. So, that vision also could be transmitted. A valuable discovery, and Francis Bennett was by no means the only one to bless its inventor when, in spite of the enormous distance between them, there was enormous distance between them, but as if they were very near to each other, it was seen. Okay. So, here was by no means the only one to bless its inventor. So, the blessing goes to the inventor, and when in spite of enormous distance, there is lot of distance, it has been between them long distance, but they were able to see next to them in the screen and they were talking. Okay children, we will keep a full stop and the first part of this lesson is over. We will see you in the next class with the second part. Bye.